This is First GenXers.
Poetic beats, poetic beats, poetic beats, poetic beats. Hello, y'all. What's up? What's up? It's me, Dark Lord 100, otherwise known as Double KK Double. Oh my God. Sorry, one of my friends just popped their knee out of place. That just sucks. I want to say, and you are watching the Cheap Pop Podcast right here on Twitch TV, or you might be watching us on YouTube. Either way, thank you for joining us. Let's see. We're going to open up with a kind of a silly subject. It's kind of just more of a personal thing. Recently, I was telling Suave and not Suave, but Dave, and had told saying as well, I've been rewatching the first couple of seasons of the Yu-Gi-Oh! King of Games animated series. First two seasons to me are still like, I think by the third, fourth season, it kind of started getting out of hands when the monsters came to life and all that shit, like even for me. And I love animated movies, or animated shows, but I was like, we've seen live action adaptations of all kinds of animated movies, series, television shows, so on and so forth. Nobody's ever really touched this product, and it's always like what made me wonder why. Like, why has nobody ever touched this particular product? And then I did notice that somebody did, and it wasn't very good. But I think if it was done by a major Hollywood studio, it could have been done a lot better. But it was a fanfic called Time to Duel, if you're wondering what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the series Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm talking about how, like, it's a series that the story alone, to me, if they could translate it into a live action setting, I think the story itself could push the movie or television series or whatever.
Yeah, like Detective Pikachu was.
Yeah. Like, I didn't mind, like, but that would be a way, like, I'm glad you brought that up, because the CGI and stuff that's done in that is exactly how you could do the dual monsters. Like, or you could even make them holograms to an extent, because that's why I mocked the creatures coming to life. Is like, before that they'd had a bunch of stuff, but it was all magical, and so you could do that in a live action movie and still pull it off to where it looks clean and it looks good. You could develop like actual live action dual disc that move and all the rest of that for as props. I just don't understand why nobody's done it. Would you be somebody that would be interested in watching that, or probably not, huh? It's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would. I'm not a big Yu-Gi-Oh guy. I came into Pokemon really, really late. Like, I didn't come in, until like maybe 15 years after Pokemon was released.
Wow.
So, it's just all, I'm not opposed to it. It's not, exciting for me, but it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, let's go. My only issue is that when you adapt a property like that, that has a and let's be honest, a niche audience
Oh yeah,
that's very
very much so.
passionate, right? But they're still not the majority, and you
Right,
adapt it to the general public. There's going to be a certain amount of dumbing down
right.
for
General audiences.
for the general audience.
Yeah,
So sometimes that works. See the MCU.
yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't work.
See every live action Dragon Ball ever made. I
You're
get what
wrong
you're saying.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I
So
get what you're saying.
you um, and oh god, that actually brings up a really great point that I just read, where um, Warner Brothers just released a completely animated Looney Tunes movie called The Day the Earth Went
Yeah,
Boom.
I just
Okay,
saw the commercial, the trailer for it.
yeah.
Yeah,
And so, um, voice actor Eric Bauza, who basically has become the Gen X slash millennial Mel Blanc, he
yeah.
voices everybody now for Warner Brothers. He actually said that that he had come out of a meeting with Warner Brothers, the pitch meeting,
Mhm.
where there was an executive asking, "Is there any way that we can fit Harry Potter into this?" Yeah,
Oh my god.
and this is just after Warner Brothers shut down their multiversity game, which was
Oh,
basically every Warner Brothers
product. Oh
project
yeah.
in Smash Brothers Battle, and
Here,
they just don't get it.
no, yeah,
They're
I
they're they're
feel you.
they're, they're chasing like it's like,
Is that a
hey,
Warner Brothers product though? Is Yu-Gi-Oh a Warner Brothers product?
no, I
Yeah, it
don't think
is.
so.
It is.
Oh, it
It
is, yeah,
is. Or at least the
because
animated series was the American animated series because I remember seeing the Warner Brothers logo.
well,
Um,
that was WB Kids.
okay.
That is broadcast on WB
Okay.
Kids now. I don't know if it's strictly if it's created by Warner Brothers or
No,
just distributed by Warner Brothers.
I think it was just
Uh,
distributed.
right,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of anime in America
Yeah.
that the westernization or the localization, it's done by professional studios, and then it gets sent to a larger distributor.
Distributed. Yeah. I
Like,
think that's what happened with Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I think
right.
Yu-Gi-Oh originally started out in either Japan, I think
Oh
Japan,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then worked its way over here and then came over
yeah.
here via what you're
Right.
saying, like
Well,
yeah, smaller studio
like
to here.
um,
Yeah.
Studio Ghibli,
Mm.
all the Miyazaki films, those were made by Studio Ghibli, but distributed in America by Disney.
By Disney. So
Yeah.
okay, so here's the other thing I was gonna say about it. If we can't do a live action, okay, because of the hair, because of the fact that the main character Yugi literally goes from being a 9-year-old boy to being a grown man and back and forth. Uh, um, another way that you can do it is, and I'm gonna ask you to reach back in your memory for this one. If anybody remembers Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, the CGI movie, but it was
Yep.
like very very refined and rendered CGI so that it looked as realistic as possible. Give me a Yu-Gi-Oh movie like that, and I'm happy. Like it doesn't have to be actual people. You know what I'm saying? Like you could give me Yu-Gi-Oh like that, and I'd be happy. Man, maybe they have. I don't know. There's tons of Yu-Gi-Oh movies I've never watched out there, but it was just my thought process.
All right. It's like,
Uh,
there's a lot of um, anime based off of collectible games, like Pokemon, like Yu-Gi-Oh,
mhm.
like Digimon is apparently huge in Japan, whereas it's just like a sort of a flash in the pan here in the U.S.
And yeah, like cause like Digimon, like I don't even is that show still on?
Not in America. I think they might have gotten a couple more series in Japan.
But I know that like it stopped coming on Saturday mornings, at least from what I remember,
Right.
somewhere around like my early 30s.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, early
I mean,
2000s.
yeah, because, you know, everyone just kind of saw it as a ripoff of Pokemon.
Hmm. I
So,
wonder why Yu-Gi-Oh was never looked at like that. That's what always got me. Is like there, at least not from what I know, there haven't been many comparisons between the two,
um,
despite
I
the
think,
similarities.
it's because, um, the Yu-Gi-Oh card game
Mm,
came out at the same time that the Pokemon card game came out. And so when the anime hit in America, Americans saw it more
as
as,
its
okay,
own product.
it's its own product.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel
They tried Digimon got introduced into America just stone cold.
you. Right. Right, like way later. It wasn't no car game. Wasn't well. Didn't the
Right.
toys come out? Didn't no. The toys came out after the show hit.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that'll wrap it up there, guys, for our opening segment. I just wanted to chit chat about that because who knows? Maybe somebody will
Yeah.
watch this and get it spark an idea. We are going ahead and jump directly into what I know my guy Dave here is nipping to talk about, and we're gonna open the door by going to. That's right, Pop Culture Corner. And yes, for those of you wondering, the Saint will be joining us a little bit later. He's just got some stuff he's doing, and then he'll be hopping in.
Yeah.
All right, so Daredevil. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Disclaimer to everybody: from this moment forward, it's on you. We are about to talk about a spoiler-filled rant of Daredevil episode 3,
Three.
specifically more specifically the ending of that episode. If you have not seen the episode and do not wish to hear spoilers, I would suggest either jumping forward if you're watching this on replay, or muting our broadcast, or jumping out for the next about 20 or so minutes, 20, 30 minutes or so. All right,
Take a smoke break. Yeah.
you've been warned. All right, let's go.
Okay. Yeah. And it's not just about the ending,
Yeah.
okay? Because let me start off by saying Matthew Michael Murdoch. Yes, I went on the wiki page to make sure I knew all three names. That's how fucking serious this is.
Uh,
You fucking arrogant bastard. Okay, most of the episode is the trial of Hector Ayala.
yes, the continue.
Okay,
Yeah, or
yeah.
the beginning and middle
So,
and end of
right. So part of this, we didn't have the conversation in chambers about Hector's identity as White Tiger last episode, right? That was this. It was all
yeah.
self-contained. This, yeah.
Yeah,
So first thing is that Matt knows that Hector's White Tiger. The defense had figured out that Hector is White Tiger
yeah,
and was going to introduce that. Matt calls for a sidebar to exclude
the
the identity as prejudicial, and he does a brilliant job explaining to the judge why this is prejudicial evidence and needs to be
yep,
excluded.
100%. Amazing
To
job.
yeah, to with the DA, the Manhattan DA, arguing against it, and the judge takes Matt's side and says, "Okay, identity's out."
Yeah,
Okay,
Matt
all right,
wants that.
cool, that's great. All right, we proceed to Sherry tracking down the guy that the cops were tooling up, Nicky Torres. He
Okay.
finds him. Yeah, is the one that Matt saved. He gets him out, gets him to another safe house. And the plan is that Matt leads Detective Powell, the surviving detective from the platform encounter,
Mm-hmm.
leads him on digging his own grave. Introduces that Nicky Torres was actually one of his confidential informants.
Mm-hmm. That he was roughing
Okay,
up.
after after Pal, you know a man named Nicky Torres? Nah, never heard of that. Don't know. Don't. And then Matt brings in the fact that Torres is the CI for him.
Yep.
Okay. Then they do a beautiful switcheroo
Yeah.
in getting Nicky to the court.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you've got the corrupt cops following Cherry in the van and actually stopping him.
You actually
In,
closing them up. Yeah.
yeah, and they look. Nicky's not in the van. He's in a cab by another guy I didn't recognize, uh, and taken into the courtroom in there.
Yep. They pulled the old okey doke on him. I was like,
They
even I
did.
was like, no,
It
dude,
was
no,
like
they ain't gonna get to the
beautiful.
witness.
Yep, it was beautiful.
Yep.
And then Nicky's taking the stand in a courtroom audience packed with cops.
Yep.
And Nicky loses his nerve. I mean, Chris Rock, I ain't saying it's right, but I understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I thought you were about to bring up a Pookie quote from
Yeah.
New Jack City.
Yep.
Chris Rock.
Nicky recants his affidavit testimony.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, man, no, I was home on New Year's Eve.
Yep.
So
he
it's
takes it
understandable.
all back. Screws him.
Okay.
Screws
Yeah.
him.
So right here is where things go pear-shaped
Yeah.
for me.
Pear
Okay,
shape.
I understand the position that Matt's in at this point.
Yeah.
His star witness just completely flopped.
Yeah.
Okay. His whole legal strategy for keeping Hector out of jail is toasted.
It's toast. Yeah.
Slight recess. When court resumes, Hector's on the stand, and Matt's getting Hector talking about why did you intervene, and
Leads him straight into you.
leads him straight into Matt pulling up his
His
attaché
mask.
case and pulling out the White Tiger's mask. Are you the White Tiger?
Yeah.
In the courtroom, right after
Everybody's going crazy.
everyone's going crazy, the judge is pissed. The DA is super pissed
Yep.
as the judge calls counsel back into his chambers to go over this. And the DA stops Matt and said, I have 500 ADAs under my control. You are not going to get a jaywalking citation without one of them up your ass about it.
Matt's like, Matt.
Yeah.
Here's the
okay.
thing, like, going,
Okay, and then Matt pleads the case as to why the circumstances have changed and why the identity should now be allowed into evidence.
yep.
Okay, and my point is that we get a scene of Matt with Hector, and Matt saying, "I didn't have a choice in there.
Like, sorry,
I'm trying
bro.
to keep you. I'm sorry." And Hector's like, "It wasn't your secret to tell."
Yep.
And he is spot on right. More importantly, the episode before, when we have Cherry and Matt talking, and Cherry's asking Matt point blank, are you representing Hector because you believe in his case? Or is this just a way to ease your conscience about being Daredevil? And from then on, the trial of Hector Ayala becomes a proxy trial for Matt as Daredevil.
Well, the minute they found out that he was White Tiger, it became that. Like,
Right.
it's yeah, because you know,
it's Matt at least had a plausible cover and was
Right.
proceeding with that cover.
yeah,
Now it's completely
Well, yeah,
You
and
know,
again, like I said, I understand people's frustration with the fact that he did it, but I think even Hector, based on the conversation that they had afterwards, understood the why.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? The why
yeah,
of it, the
ag-
onomatopoeia of it, so to speak.
yeah.
Like
Again,
without that,
yeah,
Hector, the ending of the trial doesn't go the way it goes.
right,
Like you
right,
if he keeps his mouth shut on that, there's no other way for him to argue that case once that
right,
witness redacted, or not
right.
redacted, but repent.
Recanted,
He recanted
recanted.
after the
Yeah,
witness recanted on the stand. He had no choice at that point. And
yeah,
and I again at the end of the day, I think Hector understood that. And
yeah.
like it was
Again,
either this or let you
uh,
go rot in prison.
yeah. I'm not saying it's right,
Yeah.
but I understand.
Yep.
It's just this was less right than anything else Matt has done.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and Matt's whole strategy is calling up witnesses that White Tiger saved,
Yeah. And
presenting
using witness
what
reports from cops.
re-
Yeah.
using the official police reports from the cops, reports where Hector rushed in to save cops
Yep.
who no one else was able to save,
Yep.
and then comes back to Hector. He's like, "Why did you do this?
Yep.
It was the right thing to do.
Yep.
Why did you do this? It was the right thing to do." And that's all of it.
Yeah.
It's just Hector saying that being White Tiger was the right thing to do.
He made it very obvious to anybody
Yeah,
with two eyes, to the entire jury, that Hector Ayala was somebody who was going to take action to do the right thing in almost every situation, unquestioned. Like
right.
it's not because he wants the attention. It's not because he wants to be noticed or he wants the glory that comes with saving somebody. It's simply because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, yeah. And Hector admits his faults on the stand in regards to his marriage,
Yeah.
and then he breaks out that the reason why he was on that platform on New Year's Eve
Mm.
is that he and his wife had been living with her sister
Yeah.
in, you know, not great situations, trying to have a family plus two extra in New York apartment conditions.
Yeah.
So he was there with the flowers because he was going back to tell his wife that he had just saved up enough money to put a down payment and close on a place of their own.
Yeah.
Okay, and that changes his wife's opinion about him completely
Yeah.
in there, and
His entire
it
life
also
screwed
helped.
up
Yeah.
for doing the
So
right thing.
exactly, and so jury comes back, gives him not guilty on all counts:
On all
first
accounts,
degree
yeah.
murder, first degree murder, second degree murder, homicide in the first degree, homicide in the second degree, all not guilty.
Yeah.
And that just sets everybody off in there.
Yeah.
You've got some cops who kind of understand and appreciate the
Yeah.
position that Hector was in. They're more likely to understand that. I mean, everybody in police department, they know who the bad apples are. They know
Right.
who the corrupt ones are. So having Shaughnessy and Doyle shaking down a CI, that's not exactly news for them.
Yeah.
It's nothing that could have been introduced in court, but it makes Hector's version of events more plausible to them
To them,
in
yeah.
there. And so Hector walks, and then we cut the Kingpin finding out, and Fisk is just like,
He gives a Fisk-like speech. I love it.
yeah, he gives a Fisk-like speech, and more importantly, he calls um, BB Urich in for another interview, and
Hmm.
that's where he gives the speech about, you know, we're not going to have any more vigilantes in here.
Yeah.
The killer walked free, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And all this time, you're thinking, oh fuck, Fisk is going to spill the tea on Matt's identity to BB,
Yeah. Nope.
but he doesn't.
Yep. He just gives a big
and
old speech about.
just gives a big old speech. And the episode ends with Hector coming out of the apartment dressed as White Tiger. And I'm like, dude, my guy.
It's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do, not necessarily the right time. Okay. And so he starts cruising down his street, dressed full White Tiger.
Hmm.
He hears a scream. He's about to go leap into action, and then you just see a 45 out of the side of the screen up against Hector's head, and bam,
Unalived him
Hector,
right then and there.
right then and there. Guy walks away from the body, hunched over. And this is the middle of the night, and as he stands up, we get a little bit of street light illumination on him. The hoodie the guy's wearing is open, and it's the Punisher logo underneath. Now, do I believe that Frank was the one who did that? Hell no.
That was one of Fisk's guys. I'm almost
Yeah.
100% sure about it.
Or one of the corrupt cops, because we got more than enough. We've seen multiple cops with Punisher tattoos on their wrists, on their necks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got an inner circle of Punisher worshippers in the NYPD.
That think that he was on the cop side.
Yeah.
It's crazy
So-
when people think that.
All I'm saying is that Frank is coming, and he is not going to be a happy camper about all this.
Yep. Because unfortunately, for the people that did it, as soon as Matt finds out that and it somehow gets back to him, it was some dude in a Punisher thing, where do you think he's going to go? You know, Matt has direct access to Frank. So like Matt knows exactly where Frank is at. So
Yeah.
he can literally go ask Frank, was this
Yeah.
you? Like,
This-
and we all know it wasn't.
And we are, given how Born Again started off,
Yeah.
we are not going to have the same type of rooftop moral debates that Frank and Matt had
Yeah.
in Netflix Daredevil.
Yeah.
Okay?
Like, there's not going to be
Yeah.
a conflict of interest here. Like,
Yeah.
it's point blank and simple. Yeah.
And also, this whole episode highlights the need for one of the overlooked core characters from Netflix Daredevil.
What's that?
Everyone's complaining about Foggy and Karen being gone.
Yeah.
Okay? We have not seen Father Callahan.
True, huh?
Okay?
Not at all.
Father Callahan is the third component of Matt's moral foundation.
Yeah.
Matt, this is what Father Callahan is for, to assuage Matt's fears.
Yeah.
To use the confessional to confess what Matt feels are his sins, are his failings, and Callahan to put it all into context and get Matt back on the path, even if that path includes violence.
And I think,
And-
but just think about it. We only, how many episodes is this supposed to be? 6 or 8?
3 out of 8, yeah.
Yeah, 3 out of 8. So we still got a few episodes. We may see Mr. Callahan pop up in that
I really
critical
hope so.
role. You know,
I
in
mean,
that
the
critical role.
the actor was fantastic in it, but yeah, it really, we really need him there.
Yep.
And the B story, of course, was more drama with Vanessa and Wilson,
Mm.
as Vanessa sends, I can't remember the guy's name, but I'm just going
His
to call
assistant. Yeah.
New Wesley.
Yeah. New Wesley.
He sends Fisk's assistant. Sends Fisk's assistant to go meet with 3 of the mob leaders. There's a screwed up hijacking.
Yep.
Um,
Oh my God, that was so brutal.
that was terrible.
Oh,
Okay.
that was so brutal.
Yeah, guys smuggling down the red hook docks, and obviously mobbed up, and then they get carjacked.
Yep.
and the driver's all like, you know,
Here, take
"What,
it. Yeah.
you guys, you guys think you're big men? You know who this belongs to?" And the guy with the gun, pointing the gun on the driver, says, "We don't fucking care."
Yep.
And then the
Behind
passenger,
him.
no,
Yeah.
to the side, just starts mouthing off about how these guys are fucking dead. And then he gets unalived from the passenger side gunman, brain splattering the driver.
Yep.
And the driver says, "Well, it's in the shit now." Bam.
Yep. They
Okay.
ended up shooting him. They come out the truck and bow, got him.
Yep.
Like, but yeah.
So one mob faction takes the smuggling of another mob faction.
Mm-hmm.
Vanessa has the assistant go lay down the law
Yeah.
and
Because there's
tell
no
the
leader.
yeah, there's no
Yeah.
leader. And the carjacking guy, the carjacking mob leader is saying, "Hey, it's not anything any of you wouldn't have done." And the mob boss who got hit is saying, "Well, maybe if you hired some guys who fucking knew how to do a carjacking properly, we wouldn't be in this mess."
Yeah, no shit.
Okay,
No shit.
so the assistant comes in, lays down the law. Shooter faction owes smuggler faction 1.8 mil.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. No discussion.
It is what it is.
Shooter faction is upset about it and tries to pull the who are the Russian brothers from season 1 of Daredevil?
Oh my god, I can't remember their name. But
Yeah.
I know that was one of
Yeah.
his. Yeah.
But he tries the tough Russian act and says, "We're not going to take any lip from an assistant.
Yeah.
If the man wants us to do it this way, he can damn well come down here and tell us."
Yep.
And the assistant is saying, "No, I'm speaking for the man,"
Yeah.
and walks off.
Yep.
And it turns out that the man in this case is Vanessa.
That's it, yep. Not Fisk.
And then Fisk
That actually
hears-
causes conflict between them because she's
because-
like that somebody's got to be in the lead, and then
Right.
he's like we can't be involved in shit like that no more. Like we're the mayor
Right.
and his wife. Like
Yeah, exactly. And and Fisk has a point, and Vanessa also has a point that Fisk is still angry about the child she had, about Adam.
Yeah.
And it's a whole lot of displacement going on here. Okay,
Big time.
whereas the issues that they're upset at each other about aren't really the issues that they're upset with each other about.
Right.
Okay,
That's marriage
And
though for some
it is
people.
marriage.
Like
Right. yes, it absolutely is, and it takes the communication. And
Yeah.
Winston and Vanessa just are not communicating the way that they should to be able to pull this off. They are not the couple from season 1
of Daredevil.
that would literally do anything,
Very true.
where Vanessa was horrified when she learned what this does, but then she's watching all those gang hideouts blown up in the city, and Fisk is explaining how he killed, those rats, and Vanessa said, "Good,"
Yeah.
so she knows she.
Oh yeah,
she's
they've
all
shown
about that
multiple
life.
times. Yeah,
She's all
they've
about
shown a
that
couple
life.
of times in the last 3
Mhm.
episodes that
Yeah.
that Vanessa about that life. Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, and she even knew how that life goes before she met Wilson. There's a lot of hints to that, but
100%.
she's fine with it. It's just Wilson's trying to lead his double life again without a foundation
Yeah.
in there.
So yeah, we got 5 episodes to find out, and this is gonna
Yeah.
this is gonna be
Yeah.
great.
Oh, and Fisk was just a boss when he was talking with BB,
Yeah.
where BB was pointing out that Hector Ayala was acquitted by a jury, and Fisk just says juries get it wrong sometimes. I know that more than anyone else.
Vinny D, bro,
Yep.
I love you and everything I've
Yeah.
ever seen you in.
Yep.
All I can say is, bro, yeah, Like,
Hail to the king.
hail to the kingpin for sure.
Yep.
Um,
That was. Okay, so yeah, another fantastic episode. Frustrating episode because we are seeing what happens when there is no moral anchor.
yeah.
Where, there are always choices. That used to be, there are always choices that you can make.
Yeah.
The easy choice is not always the right choice.
Yeah.
And the right choice is not always easy. And Matt has always tried to do the right choice. I'm sure that, for the trial, if he had asked for a continuance based on the testimony recanted by Nikki Torres, the judge would have granted it, and Matt would have found a way to get his boy off.
Here's the thing about it. I'm gonna say this. I get the issues with him doing that.
Right.
But I think that we come to that same conclusion of somebody killing Hector Ayala, whether Matt does it the way he did it or he does it a different way.
Right. Because even if he does do it a different way,
yeah,
remember, the DA already knows.
exactly. And so
that's going to get leaked into the NYPD.
Oh, easy.
Somehow.
Yeah, DA's office got to mold the size of the sun.
Yeah. So the Punisher crew would have found out and would have capped Hector anyway.
Right.
I agree with you on that.
So at this point, it's like, I think this episode was a turning. I think every one of these episodes has been about a turning point for Matt. It's the way these episodes are written. It's very similar to the first season of Daredevil on Netflix, where you kind of see you're kind of seeing these two objects float around each other until by the end of the season they finally collide. And so we're definitely seeing a lot more interaction between Fisk and Matt Murdock in a lot of more inadvertent ways, more so than we did in the first season. It felt like they were two separate, entities going down the path until they collided. Right. This one, it feels more like they're banging off of each other left and right all the way down the thing until they finally make their collision. I like the way it's being built. I definitely like I didn't read a lot of the mayor, because I know that he was mayor of New York in the comics. So I didn't read a lot of that particular storyline, but I'm liking what I'm seeing, and if it's anything close to kind of what they did in the comics, I'm here for it.
Yep.
So, all right. So we ate up pretty much like I thought all the pop culture corner there. Yeah. We'll take our commercial break real quick.
Bottom line, Daredevil Born Again, it's just getting heating up, and this is going to be a pressure cooker series.
Oh yeah, and if you want to keep up with us, we will be discussing each new episode pretty much every week on Sunday. Yeah. So
we will be warning you about spoilers going in.
Exactly. So there will be so you guys got 7 days to watch 3 episodes. I think you can do it. I believe in you. Anyway, all right. So let's take that commercial block. You're listening to the Cheap Pop Podcast or watching the Cheap Pop Podcast here on YouTube or Twitch or Live 365. Hopefully, when we come back, we'll find us an Agent K28 over the break and bring him in to talk some wrestling. But if not,
I got opinions about Monday Night Raw too.
There you go. We'll talk to y'all then. Let's see. Peace.
This is now versus then. This is now versus then. Get on your mark, let's go. This is now versus then. Burning up your radio, still turning up the heat with Poetic on the flow. Got you moving to the beats with the saint as your host. Shout out the collective, hold it down, we gon' clown, that's the lesson. We're Generation X meets Generation Next, with them bangers from the east to the south to the west. Yeah, this how we do it in Sacktown. Slide to the studio, yup, it goes down. These beats gon' pound, waking the game up, told you it goes down. And this is only the intro. Turn the mics on, shout out to my kinfolk. Where you at, y'all? Let's get this started. Turn down for what? We about to start the party. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. This is now versus then. This is now versus then. This is now versus then. This is now versus then.
You got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. You got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. Success comes right after the struggle. I ain't even giving up on whatever I wanted. The tragedies I've seen, I can't even stomach. Most of y'all weak as shit and would've started running. Every time I make it back to the crib, I'm thankful the Most High let me see all of it. Grateful I'm lovely, and I'm being real with this. Please don't judge me, I'ma stay on my shit. I'ma keep a grind mode button, push it, make it do something. No balls for me, cause I'm a loose cannon. I get to choose camera, switch it up, look up a new banner. Keep smoking on that banner.
They say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but the definition of beauty is distorted. Yeah, come on. Searching for yourself, so insecure about the way you look, so you go to Miami. You can't find the love within yourself.
Hey, what's up, y'all out there in TV land or Twitch land or whatever we're doing today? My name is Dark Lord 100, aka Double KK Double. I am the host of the Cheap Pop Podcast and the Classroom, as well as your favorite music show, KD5P. I'm here to tell you about the Live 365 lineup that we have coming up starting on February 3rd, Monday, February 3rd. We'll open up Mondays through Fridays with Now versus Then. Deuce, classic episode from the Blog Talk Radio days. We follow that up with an FU Wrestling podcast from Spreaker, starring myself, Double K, and your boy Cole. We follow that up with, again, me, Double K's Classroom, old sports show I used to do, 30 minutes from 6:20 to 6:50. We follow that up with West Coast Bias, myself, O'Malley Duel, and Suave bringing you sports talk from a few years back. Then we have Now versus Then. That's the centerpiece of our day at 9:35 a.m. with a classic episode of Now versus Then. And every Wednesday at 9:35, you'll get a new episode of Now versus Then Deuce from Twitch. At 12:45, you'll hear an episode of KD5P, K-Double's fifth period music class that you can hear right here on Live 365 every Saturday night. You can hear a replay of it every Tuesday night at 12, or Tuesday afternoon at 12:45. You can also listen to at 3:20 the Cheap Pop Podcast, followed by NBT Deuce at 5:30. Great episodes. Probably the same episode from the morning. Lip Gloss and Mics has now moved to the 9:05 slot with a new episode of The Classroom on every Friday. And then we close out our night down and dirty, the kings and queens of porn. That'll be every Monday through Friday right here on Live 365. Catch us at live365.com/firstgenxers, or you can go to the Live 365 app, look for the First GenXers Radio Network, and that's where you'll find us. All this and more right here on Live 365. Peace.
To say Jaden Daniels has been fun to watch and getting to see him grow, because I think he is going to be a good quarterback. Yes. And so I'm happy that is one of the Monday Night Football games that actually could be a decent game. Yeah. I think I care more about seeing that game, and not just because of him, but I care more about that one than I do the earlier game.
All right, and it's Double K back with you again, host of the Cheap Pop Podcast in the Classroom, also your favorite music show, KD5P, and I'm here to talk to you about the Saturday and Sunday lineup. Last video we did Monday through Friday. This week we're going to do Saturday and Sunday. All these shows will be airing on Saturday and Sunday concurrently till about mid-afternoon, and then we go into two different lineups. On Saturday, Sunday mornings at 12:30 a.m., you get a classic episode of Brick House 2.0. Followed up by Lovely Radio, which is back on the air with First GenXers. And we have Mr. Deacon at 5:15 a.m. Sam Brett Radio now moves up from the 10 a.m. slot to 7:25 a.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. And the 10 o'clock slot now goes to Ms. Optimism, back with us again after a short hiatus. We follow that up with another episode of Lovely Radio at 12:10. And then we get Sam Brett one more time at 2:45. You get about an hour and 15-minute episode on Sundays, and you get a full 2-hour episode on Saturdays. That episode will air right before the live episode of K-Double's 5th period music class on Saturday nights from 5 to 8. Right here live on Live 365, where K-Double brings you some of the hottest tunes from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And then we close out Saturday nights with the Worldwide Wrestling Podcast from 8:15 to 11. So on Sundays, you go from Sam Brett to 4:10 The Classroom. 45-minute episode of an old version of The Classroom that we had over on Spreaker. And we'll follow that up with Dirty Talk 101 at 5:30. And we close out with 7:40, the Worldwide Wrestling Podcast, another great edition of me and your boy Cole. And then we close out at 10:10 p.m. with the Sidebar. So thank you for listening or seeing me here on Twitch if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube. And join us on any one of our platforms here at First GenXers and Double KK Double Network. You got 2KK2network.com, my website. You also have the for twitch.tv/firstgenxers. And you also have Live 365 where you can find us or you're listening to us here. And we also have, for those podcast folks, over on Spreaker, a place where you can find the Cheap Pop Podcast and the Classroom on podcast. And you can download it and everything. So that's it from me for this week. This time around, I'll be back again with a new schedule as of May 1st. But until then, y'all enjoy this lineup and stay up. Peace. Are back. Hey, what's up, y'all? Unfortunately,
Hey.
what is up? I want to say we couldn't find well, I'll say
Saint, Agent K28.
that guy,
Marcus
my
Guerrero.
brother, whatever you consider him. We couldn't find him during the break. Hopefully, we'll be able to find him during this part of the show. But if not, the show must go on. So, Dave, you have one more
Yeah,
topic.
one
for
more
us,
because, Pop Culture Corner got a little heated. But last news of pop culture, Neil Blomkamp, the director of District 9, Elysium, Chappie, is going to be doing, I'm not going to say remaking, because the first film was not really an adaptation, but he's going to be doing an adaptation of the classic sci-fi novel Starship Troopers.
Yes.
Now,
For those of you who don't remember, that was a movie that starred the one and only NPH, Neil Patrick Harris. No, I didn't just star him. It had a bunch of other people in it too, but NPH is the one that stands out. But yeah, it was a great movie. And actually, with the way that society is going today, I would suggest that everybody go watch Starship Troopers.
I would actually recommend reading the original novel.
Yeah.
Because the problem with the Starship Troopers film that Paul Verhoeven did, okay, yes, fascism was clearly evident on there, but the problem is that the way that the film was done is that the production company had the right
What's up, Saint?
to, oh, hey, how we doing, Saint? Is he here or is he?
No, he tapped in the.
Yeah. Okay. So,
he is right. Starship Troopers do rule.
okay. Well, the thing though is that the production company had the rights to the name and the adaptation of Starship Troopers, but had nothing set in terms of planning. On the other hand, there was already this kind of low budget Aliens ripoff called Bug Hunt on Outpost 9
Oh my goodness.
with a script and everything, and they were ready to go, but they didn't have a production company.
Yeah.
So they tried the Rhesus effect,
Oh my God.
and that's what the original Starship Troopers was. It was a script that had no connection with the name, getting passed off. So it is, yeah. But there is a lot of stuff in Starship Troopers that in the book that never made it into the movie.
Really?
In regards, well, first of all, like Johnny Rico, he's Filipino in the book.
Okay, yeah, that. Talk about whitewashing.
Yeah. Yep. And,
You never. Saint said you will never mention that bullshit again on this network.
Thank you for proving my point, Saint. Eloquent as always. So, but there's a lot of in-depth discussion in regards to um, the idea of service,
Yeah.
service to the state, being a qualifier for um, uh, um, being able to vote and getting certain
Yeah.
extra benefits. So, um,
Trash isn't
that's
worthy, yeah.
trash ain't worthy. So, um, and it's Robert Heinlein. Basically, most of the novel is about Johnny's training, because Robert Heinlein's military career was basically boot camp for World War II. Then the war ended before he got into
Before he got no gun.
right, and so he did some naval service also. But um, that's why the most in-depth parts are the basic training
Training,
that Johnny
right.
goes through. Right. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on in there, um, like the flogging scene in the film happens in the book, but the reason why the kid gets flogged, um, it's because that kid actually lost his cool and flat out slugged Clancy Brown's character full on in the face.
Okay.
And the seriousness is that this was a wartime situation. This is wartime.
Right.
Striking a superior officer in wartime
Oh yeah.
is a capital offense.
Oh yeah. You can go to jail for life for that. If not.
No, you get executed for that.
Yeah.
So that was the compromise that was come up to save the sergeant the embarrassment of, he had snuck up on the kid, and the kid hit him.
Yeah.
I mean, the sergeant should have been able just to block that shit. So that was the flogging was the compromise for all around. And there's a lot of other stuff. And not to get into political discussions about it, but in the book, it's more reminiscent of the Roman Empire, which is what Mussolini based all of his views of fascism on when he created it, including the symbolism and the total loyalty to the state, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it had more to do with, the order in the Roman society than it did fascism as we understand it. So,
fair enough.
but bottom line, Blomkamp's going to make a full adaptation based off of the book. So,
But for me, it was just a fun movie because it was about blowing up bugs in space.
Yep.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like, but at the end of the day, I get what you're saying about the comparisons to.
Not to mention that the mobile infantry in the book wears power armor.
Okay.
They're not Colonial Marine knockoffs.
Oh.
They are wearing state-of-the-art power armor, like what we think of in anime.
Right.
Okay. Like what we think of, think War Machine.
Right.
Without the extensive flight capabilities. Okay. That is each and every one member of the mobile infantry is War
More
Machine.
along the lines of what we saw in what was that? Was it the Tom Cruise movie?
Yeah.
Where they powered where they fought aliens using those big mech things.
Yeah. Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow, and he kept resetting and resetting and resetting. Yeah.
Based off of the manga and anime, All You Need Is Kill, which, by the way, is also getting a remake.
Wow. Hey, 2 birds, 1 stone. There you go.
Yep. Okay.
Cheap Pop Podcast. All right.
So,
that will take
on.
us right down. Smackdown Ali. Julio, thank you, sir, for your wonderful work. Give me a thumbs up when you're done. Awesome. All right, so here we are. Look, Monday Night Raw was to me a great episode throughout. Had a great ending. We can start with the open, which was Was it Punk and Rollins was the open? No.
No, Punk and Rollins was main event.
Yeah. Sorry. We opened with Jey Uso and Grayson Waller. It looks
No,
like.
Jay Uso, Grayson Waller, yeah.
Yeah.
And
That match
Yep.
was yeah. It was a good match. Of course, Jay gets
Good
the
match.
win. I
he gets
believe.
the win, and then Gunther slides into the ring behind him, chokes him out.
Yeah.
Um,
And yeah. Thought you was the
and-
man, Gunther. Huh?
yeah,
Can't just
And
walk
then-
up to a man face to face. Got to get him from behind. No.
and then we get a locker room scene later on where Jay's kind of, getting checked out of medical, getting ready to leave, and Alpha Academy comes up, and Otis is all like, "Hey man, we got your back from now on."
Yeah.
So, I think we're gonna have Alpha Academy
yeah.
spoiling Gunther, trying to.
It's a way to
Spoil
elevate
it.
them. Like they ain't really doing nothing
Yeah.
right now, so make them.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The people that are helping out and feuding with Gunther at the same time as Jay. You know, shit. We got 6-week build to WrestleMania. You got to have them do something more than just go back and
Still
forth, right?
going. Yep.
Let's see. Then we get, instead of getting what was advertised, which was Logan Paul, or which was AJ Styles calling out Logan Paul,
Yeah.
we instead get Logan Paul calling out AJ Styles, but not in the way you think. Because Logan
Nope.
comes out, talks a bunch of shit about.
I'm going to be honest with you. Whenever it's Logan Paul solo, because I'm not watching live, I'm watching, a day or two later. I just fast forward through Logan Paul. I don't
Well,
listen to the damn
you
word
missed
he
a good
says.
one on this one.
No,
I think his
no,
name
but
is.
once AJ Styles got into the ring, that's
Yeah.
when I started paying attention.
All right. But Logan Paul had went into the crowd, and Andrew Schiff, I think is his name, comic on Netflix.
Yeah,
he was
that's-
there.
yeah.
He's from New York, so of course Logan Paul they hand him a mic, and he's like, and Logan Paul is trying to coax him into saying that Logan Paul is the best wrestler here, and yeah, Adam just basically like good comics do. He roasted him, and then it was just like, no, you're in New York. This ain't Cleveland, bro. Of course, that gets the big pop from the crowd, and he says, AJ Styles, that's who we want to see. Crowd goes Styles, AJ Styles.
Yep.
Logan then proceeds to, which surprised me, grab him and bring him over the railing, and proceed to drag him into the ring to proceed to start beating up on him. Didn't get far though before
and
AJ Styles music hits.
Yeah, from what I saw, Alexander Schiff or
Hold on,
yeah.
his name.
Yeah, I
Andrew
can't
Schultz.
remember.
Andrew Schultz.
Andrew
y'all.
Schultz. There we
For
go.
anybody
Andrew
that's
Schultz.
a fan of him,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I butchered that name. but Andrew
Apologize
Schultz,
to-
yeah.
Apologize to the man. Gonna give him his props. He took those bumps like a boss.
Yeah.
He
yeah,
did a
got
good
there.
job taking bumps and selling it. And then we get AJ Styles zooming into the ring, and Logan Paul runs away like the little bitch he is.
Yep.
Yep.
Logan Paul just bro.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, I was highly impressed with AJ Styles and how much he's selling this feud with Logan Paul.
Yep.
I think he's probably going to be working with Logan Paul all the way till WrestleMania. So
Yeah.
we'll get
Yep.
there. Then we had
Then we have we had an announcement. Adam Cole, is that the head man for Raw?
Michael Cole,
No, not Michael Cole, the general manager.
Adam
of
Pearce.
Raw. Adam Pearce, yeah.
Yeah.
Adam Pearce announced that next week in Brussels there's going to be a match between AJ and Logan Paul.
Did he? Did we? Are we getting that match? Let's see.
We got a lot of stuff to cover. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a mid-broadcast promo from Cody Rhodes walking in, looking
Yeah.
elegant, and full props to the makeup department, to the WWE makeup department for the makeup to make Cody Rhodes' eye still look busted up
I would love to say yes, but that may be from when Travis Scott smacked him in the face. So that may
Boy,
be real. Because, like,
dude,
Travis Scott isn't exactly a pro wrestler. He doesn't know
no,
how to, like,
no,
pull a punch or
yeah,
hit lightly. So,
yeah,
like, that may be real. Like, that may
yeah.
be
We're
why a lot of people were fired up.
we're getting into botch Lesnar territory now.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So, but after that Logan Paul bit, we got what was it? A tornado tag match between the New
yes,
Day and the LWO, being Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee.
yeah,
Um,
and
but we had a New Day get the win because a random
a random
luchador came in and hit a couple of
wearing
luchador moves.
wearing a dragon mask in red, white, and blue with the American made symbol on its forehead came in, interrupted the match, giving New Day the win.
Yep. Um,
And of course, Michael Cole correctly identifies it as Chad
Jack
Gable.
Gable, yeah.
And you got Pat McAfee singing, "Oh, you're slandering the man's name. We have no idea who that was." Look,
Whatever. Yeah.
the only like I told Kev and Saint,
Yeah.
the only reason why this was not the absolute stupidest fucking who was that masked man bit in the history of wrestling is because we have Shockmaster.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't put it above I Did It for the Rock. Like, that was kind of retarded looking back on it
Yeah,
now. Like, but I
but
get what you're saying. Like, yeah, it was kind of too obvious. Even though
it's so obvious. Yeah.
I did like the little swerve that they tried to give you in the back of Chad Gable standing there doing an interview in the exact same hoodie he just ran out in. But
Yeah, and
he's standing there doing an interview, and she's accusing him of being the masked guy, the masked person, and they
no,
zoom behind them, and the masked person wearing the exact same mask is now being walked out by security, and Chad Gable's like, really, like, now you still think it's me? And it's like, oh, I love it
yeah,
when they make it so obvious. Like, I
it's
love it.
just
I
yeah,
genuinely love it.
and Chad Gable busting the chops of the NYPD for terrible security and police protection and
Oh,
that. Yeah,
yes, that was.
it's just
Oh, that's
uh,
just hilarious. All
yeah.
right, so then that led us to a backstage segment with the Judgment Day, where Dominic tells
Starts
Finn
off
Balor
with
that he got him an Intercontinental title match with Braun Breaker.
right,
And
and
then at
so
the end of
that's
it, the weird part was Liv looks at Dom and says, well, "Why didn't you get it for you?" And he's like, "Nah, I got it for Finn." All right,
yeah,
there's something
and
up on this.
that is next week.
Yeah,
Braun Breaker, Finn Balor for
should be a
it
hell
is
of a
for
match.
the it is for the Intercontinental title,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a championship match. I want to say then Cody Rhodes came out like he talked about,
yeah,
and gave a promo on John Cena and The Rock. Here's the thing that I like about this that a lot of people are not talking about. Cody Rhodes is carrying this feud. And it's like, this is why Cody was the right person for this feud. This is why this makes sense to turn John Cena heel. Because Cena and The Rock can only be there on limited schedules, period. Like, they cannot be there on regular week-to-week schedules. They can only be there on a limited schedule. So Cody can carry the feud until they can get back. Luckily for us, next Monday in Brussels, they're going to The Rock and John Cena are going to be there. So we're finally going to hear John Cena and why he did this. So that's going to be amazing for Raw next week. Cody Rhodes still giving him passionate. And if you notice that every single one of his promos on Raw and SmackDown coming up to this event, he gets more and more passionate. Like this week, it was hilarious. He was supposed to be this week on SmackDown. He was supposed to be a guest on Miz TV, and he came out, and Miz was like, and he went to go celebrate with the crowd, and Miz was like, cut his music, no. So Cody hits him with the Crossroads, He rolls out the ring, and Cody just gives an impassioned speech and then celebrates with the crowd. So, like, yeah, so we're going to get a face-to-face. I assume that The Rock and John Cena are going to come out, say about 3 words, and then Cody Rhodes is going to come out and attack John Cena. And then him and The Rock are going to beat up Cody Rhodes. Yeah, but it's going to be fun to watch. Let's see. All right, Bailey and Raquel Rodriguez was the next match. It was all right. Bailey ended up taking the L.
Yeah.
Like,
because interference from Liv.
Yeah, because of interference from Liv. Because, of course, that cute little blonde has to interfere. All cute little blondes in the WWE have to interfere. Anyway, and yes, when I say cute little blonde, I mean it. Like, Liv Morgan is like 5'1". Like she barely comes up to my chest. Like, so, like, yeah, she's little.
And then we moved on to the women's Intercontinental. No, not
that was
Intercontinental.
after the. No, I don't think we had women's Intercontinental this week, did we?
It was
It was Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley.
Right. No, it wasn't triple though. It was Io Sky against.
No, she didn't fight anybody. They just had an in-ring promo this week.
Oh, right, that's right. It was an in-ring promo. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
they did the in-ring promo with her.
Yeah. So Io Sky comes out to get her flowers.
Right, to do her interview. And Bianca Belair, is there. So it's the preview for the women's title matchup at WrestleMania. And then Rhea Ripley comes out to confront Bianca Belair. Yeah, because they're about to have a conversation.
Why were you there at that match? That back and forth. Io tries to interrupt. It's like, excuse me, I'm still here. And both Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair face push Io Sky out of the way in there. And then Io Sky loses it.
Mm-hmm.
She bitch slaps both Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley and say, I am not going to be ignored.
She goes off in Japanese, basically.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. She goes off in Japanese and then walks out the ring, like, basically, and that's basically what she was saying. Like, y'all ain't gonna make me. You know what it reminds me of? Here's what's funny, and it's kind of a similar level to what it is. If anybody remembers the feud between The Rock and John Cena the first time around, not when they had the year before they had their first match, when The Rock was the special guest host for WrestleMania in Atlanta. If you remember leading up to that, I think there were like 1 or 2 like promos exactly like this, where The Rock and Cena were so focused on talking shit to each other that The Miz came up in between and was like, don't forget, like, I matter here too. Like, I'm the WWE champion, because he was the champ at the time. He's like, y'all aren't going to just push me out of this. And it actually led to one of the funniest segments on Monday Night Raw, where The Rock's music hits, right? Everybody goes nuts, and and out comes The Miz in a ball cap. spray tan to match The Rock's color. And he comes walking out, and what's funny is it took the crowd till he was about halfway down the aisle before they realized it was The Miz and not The Rock. They just saw the bald head, and like they were like, The Rock looks a little skinny, like compared to how he normally does. And then when they realized it was Miz, they started booing him. But it just reminds me, because there was a lot of segments where Miz and Cena were so focused on each other as the 2 big stars, the 2 big dogs in the room, that The Miz basically was just in between them, like Io Sky, and had to kind of push his way in, like, don't forget about me. I'm the champion. Like, yeah, it gave me flashbacks to that.
Yeah.
Those are great segments too.
For Io Sky, sign of the night crowd sign of the night. Someone did a mock up of the Super Mario Brothers 3 cover box art. You know, the one with Mario just kind of flying and like
Yeah,
that.
he's got
And
the
but
squirrel
it was
outfit on. Yeah,
yeah, but it was a chibi EO Sky instead of Mario.
nice,
Yes,
nice.
that's and by the way, who was it that tore up that kid's sign on their walk to the ring?
I don't remember.
I want to think it was Logan Paul.
Probably, yeah, yeah.
Oh no, that was
Okay.
the steel cage match. That was Rollins.
Rollins, okay, probably had a
Yeah,
CM Punk sign.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
a CM Punk sign that kid had. Of course, strategically placed by WWE,
yeah, of course.
creative. But
So,
yeah, so let's keep going.
well,
And
well, that leads us straight into our closing match, which is CM Punk versus Seth Rollins in a
in
steel
a steel
cage,
cage. Yep. And
and
all
yeah,
throughout the broadcast, they were scattering in classic Madison Square Garden moments and
yeah,
classic steel cage moments.
yep.
And during one of the regular matches, when someone went top rope. Oh, it was the women's match. Who was it? Bailey.
Bailey and Raquel
When
Rodriguez was one
yeah,
of
when
those.
Bailey went top rope to do an elbow, and that
Macho
jumped
Man.
off of it. Yeah, Michael Cole said, "Oh yeah."
Well, that and understand the reason why Bailey uses that move is because Macho Man was one of her favorite wrestlers growing up. Like she stated
Of
that
course,
on
yeah,
multiple
yeah,
occasions. But yeah, like that. That's yeah. And just to shout out to Saint, he was reminding us, yes, let everybody know next week because it's in Brussels, over in Europe. Raw will be on at noon
Pacific time.
Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern.
Yep,
This upcoming Monday. But if you have to work and you're gonna miss it, it's
it's
available as
Netflix.
soon as it gets done
Yeah,
airing on Netflix.
yep,
You can
yep,
rewatch it or watch it right then and there. So even if you don't get home till 2:33, you'll still be able to watch it. You just won't
yep,
watch it live. Uh,
yep.
but yeah, so then we closed with CM Punk and
Seth
flipping
Rollins.
Seth Rollins, and they,
Yeah,
as expected, they gave us a hell of a
yeah.
match.
And like I said, Rollins's walk up to the cage, he tears the CM Punk sign out of the hands of the kid, tears it up in front of the kid in
I
there.
think
So
we're looking at Rollins has been a face for a while now. I think we're definitely looking at some kind of
he's
Rollins
been an he's
heel
been
turn.
an attitude face
Yeah,
for a while.
yeah.
But
But he has grown to the
yeah,
level of a Stone Cold,
although I do
a
want
Triple H, where he's a tweener.
yeah, yeah,
He can be a good guy. He can be a bad guy. He can be a good guy doing bad things. He can be a bad guy doing good things. He's a tweener.
yeah. Although I do want to ask the question:
Mm.
does Ric Flair know that Seth Rollins is dumpster diving Flair's castaway outfits for all those sequins?
Uh, he's the king of drip, man. What can I say? So, oh,
Okay.
really quick fun fact about Bianca Belair, something I found out because this is why I love the Disney relationship with WWE is because um, you get moments like Bianca Belair being on First Take on ESPN. And one of the things I found out about her, thanks to the fashionista that is Molly Shannon, uh, Bianca Belair literally sews every single outfit that she wears.
Damn.
No matter how extravagant you've seen it, she's the one that does it.
Damn.
Like, and I was
Okay.
like, when I found that out, I was like, wow, like that's impressive. Like that is completely impressive. And so, like, yeah. Or what she'll do is she'll take whatever wardrobe came up with for her, and she'll add her own twist to it.
Yeah.
You know, add
Yeah.
new stuff to it. But the shirt she was wearing on First Take was like a button-up shirt that was like, I want to say bedazzled. May have been real diamonds, knowing her, she as much money as she got. But bedazzled and had the whole thing, and it looked like she was wearing a tie. I don't know if that was a tie that was bedazzled too, but she had a whole outfit on that looked good. But yeah, that was just a little factoid that I found out about her that I was just like, I'll share
Fantastic.
that on
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
But
So
needless to say, we go through the
Steel-
entire steel cage match. We get
Yep.
we get to the what we think is the end.
Well,
Rollins
yeah,
is leaning up
wait.
against what's up?
Wait a second, because Rollins and Punk are going at it, hammer and tongs. Rollins gets the upper hand. Punk's down, recovering, struggling to get up. Rollins strides over to the exit, has him open the door,
Yeah.
looks right at Punk, and is all.
Oh yeah, they both did that to each other, like back to
And
back.
Punk does that
Yeah.
later. Punk does that later on. So they're like, "Hey, take the easy way out."
Yeah.
And nope, this is about grinding the other into paste on
Oh,
the
yeah.
canvas.
These two
And-
don't like each other. They've
Yep.
proven it multiple times.
And it was a really, really great show. Rollins delivered a superplex from the top of the cage
That was
to
insane.
CM Punk. That was in freaking insane.
That's
and-
one of those moves where it can kill you if it's done the wrong way.
Exactly.
It literally can snap your neck directly in half, or not
Yep.
in half, but yeah.
Yep.
Like
And that
and
was
yeah.
that
It
was
was
amazing.
Had a crowd that did not speak English chanting "This is awesome." It was amazing. Like
Yeah. So match comes to a close.
oh no, they were in Madison Square Garden. Sorry, never mind.
Yeah. Match comes to a close. It's coming to a close. You know, we're getting close to end time,
Yeah.
and Punk is down again. Rollins is slowly getting back up, and then here comes the
nowhere.
one tribal chief.
Well, somebody say what they don't do is they're focused on Rollins in the ring, and all of a sudden you see Rollins get pulled out the ring and dumped onto the floor, and the crowd's going wild, and they pan around, and it's Roman,
Yeah.
and so yeah,
Romans pulls out Rollins,
Yep.
and by the rules of the steel
by
cage,
default Rollins
by
wins.
default, Rollins wins because his feet hit the floor, and so Rollins is super pissed at Reigns, and Reigns starts dismantling Rollins outside of the ring, doing to Rollins what Rollins did to him back at was it Elimination Chamber or
No, it was Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble, yeah. And just proceeds, and before he can deliver the stomp on the metal stair to Rollins, security breaks everything up. Meanwhile, Punk is still kind of like in the ring, and Paul Heyman goes in to try and help CM Punk.
Yep.
And that sets Roman Reigns off.
Yep. 100% Roman then proceeds to go directly into the ring, and I think he hit Punk with at least one spear, if not multiple spears, and laid him out in front of a shocked Paul Heyman.
Yeah, that actually gets another point that we missed in the steel cage match. We didn't mention that Punk and Rollins use each other's finishers.
Yep. Punk hit him
You
with
know,
a stomp, and Rollins
Yep.
hit him with a go to sleep. Yep.
Yep.
And so the crowd left happy because at the end of the day we got the tribal chief back, and we got him back dominating, which is where we want. But as we've mentioned many of times, this is obviously a setup to the triple threat, and it's great storytelling what I'm seeing here. I'm just hoping that it continues into WrestleMania and we get that match that we deserve. I just don't, to be honest with you, I don't know who's coming out on top. This will be one of the most unpredictable WrestleMania matches I ever see. We'll have to see how the last weeks go going into the go home. Now, we'll just touch on SmackDown before we move on to the video game segment. On SmackDown this week, there were a lot of cool things happen. Randy Orton came out and had a match against Carmelo Hayes, beat him, and ended up fighting with KO. Loved it. Crowd loved it. Crowd was hot. What was it? Well, I forget what the main event of SmackDown was this week. Let's see. Oh yeah, we got a 6-man tag between the Bloodline, LA Knight, Braun Strowman, and Jimmy Uso. That was pretty damn good. Charlotte Flair beat up on B-Fab before being attacked by Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton eventually, at one point in the night, jumps off the top of the Jumbotron and onto Charlotte Flair and a group of people. Cody Rhodes cuts his impassioned promo on Miz TV. Damian Priest and Shinsuke Nakamura had a couple of back and forths. Let's see. Carmelo Hayes, Randy Orton. Like I said, Orton defeats him. You got Gunther versus Axiom. For those of you who don't know, Axiom is actually from that watch NXT. Axiom is actually from that part of the world, and so he got a huge pop and put up a great match against Gunther before being KO'd. And then the biggest news of Friday night, which is what I wanted to get to, was my boys, who are always up and always want the smoke, now have the tag team titles. As Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, the Street Profits, win the tag team titles in the main event of SmackDown off of DIY. Like I said, I still think we're leading to a 5-team ladder match at WrestleMania. But I'm glad the Street Profits have the belts because them my boys. I've loved their new look, I've loved their new feel, and I've loved everything going on with them. So the fact that they now have the titles is just 2 thumbs up from Dark Lord right there. 2 thumbs up. So, all right. So that'll close us out as far as the wrestling goes. That means we only have 1 segment left in the show. Sad face. Sad face emoji. And we are back. All right. So before you kick into that, just wanted to give 2 quick reviews right quick. Been playing that WWE 2K25 since it came out. A lot of you guys should have it by now. It dropped for everyone on the 14th. So I'm not spoiled. I shouldn't be spoiling a lot. The My GM mode. First thing I wanted to touch on. Awesome. I said it was awesome before when I set it up, but I've actually played through an entire 5 weeks, the 4 weeks in the pay-per-view. They've added multiple features that I love. One being, for those of you who've played the My GM mode before, it has the promo segments that you can set up. Before, you never used to be able to set up a tag team promo segment. Now you can. You can set up a tag team versus tag team call out. And then also, the way it's structured is when you do 3 weeks solo, where you're competing against the other shows. Your go-home show, you actually get 1 extra match that you can book in there. And then for the pay-per-views, it's joint pay-per-views between the 4 brands that are all competing in the My GM. So you open up with some kind of fatal 4-way match for the for 1 person from each show. A fatal 4-way match, 1 person from each show. Then you get to book 1 mid-card match and 1 promo, and the other 3 brands each get 1 as well. And then the main event is a fatal 4-way match, a specialty match again. I personally like this setup. Instead of you having to book a whole pay-per-view, you basically just pick which player you want to go into one, and normally it's a woman's fatal 4-way to open, a men's fatal 4-way to close, and then 4 mid-card matches. So and you share in the boost of fans and everything else with the other brands, and it's very well done. That, and also I finally started my run on the island. I like it. I like it even better than 2K's the court stuff. I like it so far. I haven't made it that far, but I'm only 4 or 5 matches in. But I like it. It's very well done, and the graphics on it are amazing. Check out the island. Check out My GM WWE 2K25. All right, Dave. So what you got for us for the video games this week?
All right. So I am going to start off with kind of a controversial bit that Dark Lord 100 and I were talking about.
Mm.
So recently, Sony put out a tech demo showing off AI capability in video games. And they did this by doing a clip of Horizon Zero Dawn Aloy, game that I'm playing on Friday nights on night shift. But instead of it being the performance and voice from the video game,
Yeah.
it was all AI performed. So they took the idea of a clip and then they changed the voice, the facial performances, the body performance, all provided by Ashley Birch, and they put it
Wow.
under the control of AI.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they doing too much when it comes to AI. Doing way
yeah,
too much.
exactly. And Ashley Birch spoke up about it. And she did a post, "Hi, let's talk about AI Aloy. I saw the tech demo earlier this week. Guerrilla Games, the producers of the Horizon series, reached out to me to let me know that the demo didn't reflect anything that was actively in development. They didn't use any of my performance for the demo, so none of my facial or voice data, and Guerrilla owns Aloy as a character."
Wow.
So, all that said, I feel worried, and not worried about Guerrilla specifically, or Horizon, or my performance, or my career specifically even. I feel worried about this art form, game performance as an art form.
Like,
Okay?
and rightfully so. Like,
Yep.
because if all you got to do is type some words into a computer,
Type-
that's a lot
just
cheaper than
type-
paying.
type some prompts, yeah.
Copy and paste the script into the
Yep.
into the AI bot, and
And this gets into the problem that I have with generative AI.
yeah,
Having so many friends that are in the creative industries, whether it's comics, whether it's music, everything.
yeah,
Having even more associates that I speak with that are creatives, writers, filmmakers, actors. Okay, this is where the technology is headed for. Not necessarily because this is what programmers have in mind,
yeah,
but this is exactly what the people at the top have in mind.
Yep.
Because all the CEOs and MBAs, all that they see and understand about AI, whether it's creative, whether it's, data entry, anything like that, all that matters to them is that every,
It just disconnected. It just reconnected. Okay, hopefully it stays reconnected. Okay, go on. Sorry.
well, hang on, it's still paused up. Okay, but this is my problem with generative AI, where
Yeah,
last year we saw the introduction of a virtual model,
yeah,
a woman completely created out of algorithm, not based on any one single female,
yeah.
in an ad for a product with virtual clothing, virtual makeup, virtual hair. Okay, so we're talking multiple levels of the entertainment industry that are going to get ruined because a bunch of already rich bastards want to become even more rich by cutting out human creativity, whether it's
And
acting, whether it's
well, there's
sexism.
here's where I think that as much as they want to do that, I don't think that's the path that we're going to end up going down. Because I think when a lot of these movies that they make with strictly AI and these AI, even the animated movies that they make with just AI voices and AI, they're not going to do as well, especially when people find out You know that's how that's how they're creating the movie. Like they're not going to do as well. People aren't necessarily going to support it. You know, and so I think that we are we at risk of them doing some things that are that are that are uncouth, for sure. But I don't think we'll get to the point where AI is taking over the industry. I don't think we'll ever get to that point because I don't think they'll ever get to the point where AI movies will be that popular.
Okay, now I will agree with you in the fact that this all hinges on the public.
Yeah.
And just me, I have a very cynical view. I think that the general public really doesn't care how the sausage gets made as long as it gets to them.
I think there's enough creative types out there in
And
force
they are right.
that it would make an impact. I'm not saying that nobody would go because people voted for Donald Trump, so there are idiots out there. But sorry about bringing that to the show, but anyway, so there are people out there that will go see it no matter what.
Yeah.
But I think there's enough people who are not content creative, but artists, and know people who are artists and you know feel empathy that they won't be as successful as the amount of money. Because here's the thing about it: making it with AI is cheaper in regards of you don't have to play people. But it's not going to be like, oh, this is all profit. No, you still got to hire people to do certain things. So you're still going to be spending money on the movie. And if the movie's not even making enough money to pay those people, eventually they'll go back to using humans as opposed to AI.
But we're looking at a scenario that within the next 10 years, this is according to my friends who make their living in the computer industry at very high levels of the computer industry.
Yeah.
In the next 10 years, we are going to see fully AI created films that somebody just.
Oh, I'm not saying we're not going to see it. What I'm saying is it's not going to last long. Like because the general public they're not going to be making $1 billion off of a completely AI made movie. Like
like I was saying, it depends on how the public feels about how the sausage gets made. Because remember Forrest Gump?
Okay. I don't think it has anything to do with them caring about whether or not the sausage is made. I think the quality of the movies is going to be so bad that the general public is just going to universally panic.
That's where the point that I'm trying to make now. Remember Forrest Gump?
Mm-hmm.
All the historical footage that got reshot and recut, that was all computer graphics at the time. Robert Zemeckis, after the year after Forrest Gump was made, did an episode of Tales from the Crypt called I, Murderer that used the same technique, the same performance capture to use Humphrey Bogart as the lead actor. Okay, that technology is only improving.
Right. I'm not doubting their ability to do it. Yeah. I'm not saying they're not going to be able to do it. What I'm saying is that we discussed earlier, the MBAs who want this, their thought process is they only care about the bottom line. What I'm saying is they're going to dive into this fully, and they're going to find out that their bottom line isn't going to increase at all. They're not going to be making that much more money because not that many people are going to want to go see these movies because at the end of the day, when you're dealing with something that's AI versus a real person doing it, even the most AI illiterate person can tell the difference when you're watching it on a big screen. So I think that yes, I think you're 100% right that there will be a niche of people who will go see these movies no matter what. But it's not going to be enough for them to go, okay, this is the route we have to go with everything. Like I think there's definitely a push towards that, and we're going to get there. But I think once we get there, they're going to find out it's not as profitable and it's not it's not going to be what they thought it was going to be. And I think it's going to be because again, I told you about this off air. There's a movie called Simone with Al Pacino. Go check it out. It's Simone based off of the name of the system that creates the AI actress is Sim1. So Simone is the name of the actress, and they create a completely AI actress. Like and like all of her movie parts are shot AI, and she's just a completely AI actress. and you kind of see where some of the flaws in going that way completely really are. And so I agree with you. That's the way we're heading because as we normally do, especially in the States, anything that's new, catch at a moment, we latch on to it.
Right.
And
Exactly.
especially if they think they can make money off it. But I think that at the end they're going to figure out they can't make as much money as they thought.
But the problem is also is that you've got I can't remember whose law it is, but there's a computer science law that says that every year you see a doubling in processor capability, in memory
Might be talking about the
capability.
uncanny valley.
No.
Okay.
This is general computer science, maxim/law. And that was back in the 90s when Pentium was just starting to take off.
Yeah.
And the speed of increase and effectiveness has only increased since then. So we are accelerating. Someone put it to you this way, that if aviation had accelerated at the rate that computer science has accelerated from the Wright brothers to the time that we got to the 747 plane, we'd already have light speed travel.
And I'm not saying they can't. I'm not saying the technology is not there.
Right.
I'm just saying it's at the end of the day, you can't get away from the fact that it's unless it's the only place where it may be able to take over and stay latched in is voice acting. Because if the program that creates the AI is smart enough and good enough, you can mimic another's voice 100%. And I think voice acting, but I think as far as like humans on a screen or something like that, I don't think that. I think once they try to launch into that, that's where their cliff is going to come. Like I think they're going to find that doing a lot of these voice acting roles without the humans is going to be a lot cheaper for them with the AI, which sucks for voice actors because that's not the way it's supposed to be. But I think there is the only place where they could do it, and because it still wouldn't be that much cheaper, which I still say is going to be the deterrent for them at the end of the day, because you can replace all the voice actors, but you can't get AI to animate all that shit and have it look clean. Once you start getting to AI creating animated movies on that large of a scale, there's going to be flaws, there's going to be hiccups. The law of averages denotes that there's going to be flaws, there's going to be hiccups, there's going to be issues with it. And I think that just like you state that these guys are willing to jump in both feet in because they think they can make more money, I think once they realize that how much money they're going to make isn't that grand of a difference, I think that's when they're going to say, okay, it really doesn't matter. And we're still going to remember, there are still directors. There are still, some smaller movie studios who don't want to with AI right now and probably won't for a while. There's some directors that won't deal with it if it's a completely AI project. So you're going to lose a lot of big name people that could draw people to want to come see your product because none of them are going to want to work with AI setup. You might find some new kid out of film school that'll do it, but
I understand and agree with everything you're saying. We'll see what the future holds in there. Okay. But okay. Pokemon Go might be in a death spiral.
Pokemon Go might be ready to go.
That's right. They've been steadily bleeding players.
Yeah.
And they've been trying to make
People
up.
don't want to go outside no more.
Well, what really happened was it was the pandemic that really
killed it.
Hammered Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
But instead of making certain choices, they went with monetizing the stay-at-home experience. I mean, I've got Pokemon stops and spawn locations right next to my home that are within range that I can access. I can't access the raids, But with remote raid passes, which cost, you know,
Money.
whatever they are a pop, um, and they've been basically losing more people by their monetization techniques. And
It was a great idea when it
yeah,
came out.
yeah,
Get people up,
uh,
get people moving.
yeah. And recently, well, get people up, get people moving. But remember, what the company Niantic is primarily is a geocache um, locating service. In other words, it wasn't you spending X amount of money on Pokeballs and other stuff every month that was propelling it. It was the data
Yeah.
of where you go every day,
Yeah.
because it's tracking where your GPS,
Yeah.
where you're checking in, what establishments you frequent,
Yeah.
and it's travel patterns,
Yeah.
those patronization patterns.
Yeah.
That's the data that they were selling to a lot of marketing and corporate advertising.
Smart idea.
That's where their money was.
Yeah. Smart idea.
So, yep.
Like,
So, um, yep. So, and Niantic just announced they sold its gaming division to Scopely, which is a gaming company, part of the Saudi investment fund. And Scopely does not have a great track record with healthy monetization. What they do is their games involve inserting ads and then charging you a fee, either monthly, weekly, or each time, to remove those ads, to have an ad-free experience.
oh my goodness. So
And
they either get paid from the
that's, you
people
know, if
with
you've
the
ever
ads
played
because people click on their
Chinese
ads, or they get paid from the people to avoid the ads. Insane. What a racket.
and both, actually, yeah.
Yeah. They
Yep.
get them coming, they get
And
them
both.
going. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
So you might be in the final days of Pokemon Go.
Well, if it was a good
All right.
game for what it was, like I said, the side effect of getting people
Yeah.
up and moving was always beautiful, but it had
Yeah.
its time and now it's
And
over.
yep. And now, for a and on a more amusing note, GenXers. You guys remember Clippy from Microsoft for your Windows assistant? It looks like you're trying to open a document. Can I help you?
That creepy little thing there.
That creepy paperclip, yeah. So Xbox is not bringing back Clippy, but they're basically something similar. So if you are an Xbox insider, you're soon going to have access to Copilot for Gaming on mobile, which everyone knows. If you got the Xbox app on your phone, you can access and manipulate your console over your phone. You can play your game over the phone.
Really?
So yeah, oh yeah, and they play really well too. You know, not it's just like remote. You have the remote play feature. So whether it's your computer or your phone, you can play your Xbox games over your phone, because it's the
Nice.
Xbox that does all the processing,
Processing,
and then
right.
it just sends all the information back and forth via Wi-Fi, which is fast enough to make almost no difference in terms of lag. So
That's insane. Hell yeah.
I mean, I've played Starfield on my phone. I've played lots of them. A lot of the older games that you can play on your console, you cannot play on your phone or computer because they're not remote play access. But
Okay.
anyway, Copilot for Gaming is going to be able to allow you. It gives you an AI manager for your Xbox experience. Hey Copilot,
Nice.
install. Hey Copilot, delete this game, or remove this
delete
game
this.
and install this game for my library. and it'll do it for you while you're out
Wow.
running errands.
Like that's insane
Or
to me.
open and play this game.
Kind of like what they did with the Xbox, the camera thing, with the track the movement and what was the name of it? I have one in my
The
in my
Kinect.
yeah, the Connect. Kind of like
Yeah.
what they did with that.
Yep. So, but gamers are already trolling online um, with clips and other stuff where, um, like, someone has a screenshot of AI reporting your base was destroyed by the beast after a failed head-on battle with your Turkic horse archers. I'm assuming this is the new civilization. And dude responds, let's go ahead and pretend that was part of the strategy. Or, the dude asking the AI about what do I do with wood in Minecraft? And, it's just one of those things where, again, sounds great to the MBAs.
Yeah.
Gamers aren't nearly as hot about it. So,
And hopefully
you'll
they'll
see
show that
how-
with their pocketbooks.
And and that's the other thing, is that I was absolutely fucking thrilled that Windows, I don't think it was 10, I think it might have been 9, that the assistant program was now being billed as AI. The assistant program for Windows was named Cortana.
Yes, I liked Cortana.
And that was, Cortana, open this program. Cortana, do this. Cortana, do that.
Yep.
And it responded as Cortana in Jennifer, no, not Jennifer Hale. It was Jennifer Hale's voice.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is brilliant. This is great. And then because it wasn't as popular,
They moved over to Copilot.
right. And so they moved it, they changed the name to Copilot. Just keep the name Cortana
Yeah.
in there. That is your branding right there. Just because Cortana wasn't used as much as you thought she would be used, because people by then had grown up understanding how to point and click and open up and search for files and all that stuff. I mean, dude, I grew up with typing in on the computer, typing basic codes, Apple and MS Basic. Okay, I made the
100%.
switch to graphical user interface. Okay, that's why I never really used Cortana. I thought it was a great idea.
Yep.
But
For me, I, like you said, I already know how to look for files. I already know how to do this. I already know how to do that. There was never really any need that I had to use Cortana, so
yeah,
I just
and
never used it.
I'm sure it also got into a money concern where it just wasn't being used enough to justify the expense of licensing Jennifer Hale's voice.
Right. And also, not just licensing her voice, but also,
Yeah.
creating the program, or not creating the program, but keeping it updated, having
Maintaining,
people, having support for it. You got to hire people for support. So
Yeah.
it just wasn't worth it.
So,
But
well,
that's
you're
fine.
hiring the same amount of people for Copilot. So I doubt that the adopters of Copilot
Yeah.
are.
I don't use Copilot though.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I said. I doubt that there's more adopters of Copilot than there were adopters of Cortana outside of the percent increase in computer users.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting that option, but not that many more people are using it.
Are actually using it.
Yeah.
So.
Or as a percentage of the computer using public. So again, we'll see how it happens. But
All right.
yep.
That'll close us out then.
Yeah.
The sir has brought the fire again, and we have had an amazing episode. Unfortunately, we got Saint in the chat room, but we didn't get Saint on screen. So hopefully he'll be with us next week. I hope he enjoys. I hope he had fun listening in, and this has definitely been fun the episodes with me and Dave always are. Look for the clips on Double
It's
KKW
always,
YouTube.
it's always best when we're a trio, not a duo.
Yes. I want to say, let's do the final segment of the show. Where can we find you next on the Cheap Pop Podcast? All right, Mr. Dave, you'll start us out. Where can we find you next, sir?
Tonight, I will be on night shifts with Starfield.
Yay!
Yeah. Monday night, I will be on with more Spider-Man. And Spider-Man is heating up. We're getting more of the juicy content. Last week, we just met Miles Morales. So he does get a few solo bits going through the original Spider-Man, but in another 2 months or so, when I'm done with the first Marvel Spider-Man, we'll be doing Spider-Man and Miles Morales.
Woohoo! That's a great one. And then moving on to Spider-Man 2. No.
You betcha. Yep.
All right. So where can you find me next? In about hour and 45 minutes, you can find me right back here with the one and only O'Malley doing another episode of The Classroom, and we have some hot topics to talk about. NFL free agency was friggin' savage this week. A lot of shit happened, so we got a lot to talk about, and the Warriors are hot, so that gives us something else to talk about too. So tune in at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Twitch.
Are the Warriors hot like Vindaloo Curry?
Yeah, right now. Right now. They've won like 6 straight. They're killing it.
Awesome.
All right. So, all right, y'all. So check me out then. And then as far as video games go, I should, for the first time in a while, even though I got to figure out the storage situation with my Xbox, I should be able to play NCAA and Madden this week on for Football Monday. So be sure to tune into that 8 p.m. I'll be able to go on at 8 p.m. tomorrow because I'm not starting my new job for another few days, so possibly another week. So I'll stay on at the 8 p.m. slot tomorrow night, and then we'll see how the week goes. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate and love you all. This has been Dark Lord 100 and Rune Scryer, and this has been the Cheap Pop Podcast. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.